The biggest breakthrough in my trading career didn't come from learning a new strategy. It didn't come from finding a better indicator. It didn't come from a mentorship program. It didn't come from market secrets. In fact, it came from doing absolutely nothing. And I know how ridiculous that sounds, because everything about trading culture teaches the opposite. We're taught to do more, study more, analyze more, trade more, watch more charts, take more setups, learn more concepts. But let me be honest with you. The more I did, the more money I lost. And the less I did, the more profitable I became. Now, before you click away thinking this is some motivational nonsense, stay with me. Because what I'm about to share has nothing to do with laziness. It has everything to do with understanding the real enemy in trading. And here's what nobody tells you. Most traders aren't losing because they're inactive. They're losing because they're overactive. The problem isn't what they're not doing. The problem is what they won't stop doing. And this is where everything changed for me. Most traders think profitability comes from finding more opportunities. But profitable traders understand something different. Profitability often comes from avoiding unnecessary opportunities. Read that again. The average trader believes more trades equals more money. The professional trader knows better trades equal more money. One is chasing activity. The other is protecting capital. One feels productive. The other becomes profitable. The market doesn't reward effort. The market rewards discipline. And those are not the same thing. Because effort often pushes you into bad trades. Discipline keeps you out of them. I wasn't losing money from bad entries. I was losing money from unnecessary entries. If you've felt this, you're not alone. For years, I thought my problem was analysis. I thought I needed better chart reading skills, a better strategy, a more accurate entry model. Then I looked at my trade journal, and something uncomfortable appeared. Most of my losses weren't coming from my A-plus setups. They were coming from random trades. The trades I wasn't supposed to take. The trades I justified. The trades I forced. The trades I invented. The trades that happened because I was bored. And that's when I realized something. My biggest losses weren't caused by bad trading. They were caused by unnecessary trading. A quote that changed my perspective. The market pays you for patience, not participation. Think about that. How many trades have you taken simply because you wanted action, not because the setup was truly there? Comment patience if you've ever taken a trade you knew you shouldn't have taken. My need to do something was costing me money. Here's what nobody tells you. Humans are wired to solve problems through action. When something feels uncertain, we do something. When something feels uncomfortable, we do something. When something feels slow, we do something. Trading punishes this behavior because many times the correct action is no action. And that's incredibly difficult. Imagine sitting in front of charts for 3 hours. Nothing is happening. No setup, no signal, no confirmation. Your brain starts whispering, maybe this setup will work. Maybe I can enter early. Maybe this one is close enough. And suddenly you're in a trade. Not because your strategy told you to enter, but because your emotions needed something to do. This is where most traders lose. Not on the chart, inside their own minds. The market doesn't reward busy people. It rewards disciplined people. There's a huge difference. The average trader feels productive when they're active. The profitable trader feels productive when they're disciplined. One measures effort. The other measures execution. Imagine becoming the type of trader who can sit through an entire session and take no trades. Not because you're scared, not because you are confused, because nothing met your standards. That's a different level of confidence. And confidence isn't taking every trade. Confidence is being willing to miss trades because you trust your process. The trade that changed everything. Let me tell you a story. One day I saw what looked like a good setup. Not great, not perfect, just good enough. At least that's what I told myself. I entered. Price immediately started moving against me. My stop loss got hit. Nothing unusual, but something bothered me. I knew before entering that the setup wasn't really there. I knew, and yet I took it anyway. That night I reviewed the trade, and then something strange happened. I reviewed the next 20 losing trades. The same pattern appeared. I didn't lose money because I couldn't trade. I lost money because I couldn't wait. That realization hit me hard, because suddenly I couldn't blame the market anymore. The problem wasn't knowledge, the problem was discipline. The problem wasn't strategy, the problem was impatience. And from that day forward, I created a simple rule. If the setup isn't obvious, I do nothing. That one rule changed everything. Doing nothing is a skill. Most traders think patience is passive. It's not. Patience is active. You're actively resisting impulses, actively resisting fear, actively resisting the urge to manufacture opportunities. Doing nothing sounds simple until you try it, because that's when you discover how addicted you are to action. And if you've ever struggled with overtrading, you've felt this addiction. The need to participate, the need to be involved, the need to feel productive, the need to chase. But imagine becoming someone who no longer needs action to feel progress. Imagine how powerful that would be. The best traders have a different identity. This is where it changes. Most people think profitable traders know something others don't. Often they don't. What they have is different behavior, different emotional responses, different habits, different identity. The struggling trader says, I need to find trades. The profitable trader says, I need to protect capital. The struggling trader wants excitement. The profitable trader wants consistency. The struggling trader wants action. The profitable trader wants quality. The difference sounds small, but it changes everything, because identity drives behavior, and behavior drives results. A powerful exercise. I want you to try something. For the next week, track every trade you take. Then ask one question. Would I still take this trade if I could only trade once today? That question exposes everything. Because suddenly, quality matters. Discipline matters. Patience matters. Standards matter. And most importantly, your identity begins to change. The deeper truth. Let me be honest with you. Most traders don't have a strategy problem. They have an impulse problem. They don't need more information. They need more self-control. The market isn't testing your intelligence. It's testing your ability to wait. And waiting is harder than most people realize. Because waiting feels like inactivity. But in trading, waiting is often the highest form of action. A thought-provoking statement. The trade you don't take can be more profitable than the one you do. Let that sink in. This is the moment everything changes. Imagine becoming a trader who doesn't panic, doesn't chase, doesn't force setups, doesn't need constant stimulation. Imagine becoming a trader who trusts the process so deeply that they can sit through boredom without making emotional decisions. That's when consistency begins. That's when emotional freedom begins. That's when profitability becomes possible. Not because you found a secret, but because you stopped sabotaging yourself. Closing. Here's what I want you to remember. The biggest improvement in my trading didn't come from doing more, it came from doing less. Less chasing, less forcing, less overtrading, less emotional decision-making, less interference. And the funny thing is, the less I interfered, the better my results became. Because the market didn't suddenly become easier, I simply stopped getting in my own way. If you're struggling right now, you may be much closer than you think. You may not need another course, another strategy, another indicator. You may simply need to stop doing what is already hurting you. And if this message connected with you, subscribe right now. Because this channel isn't about teaching you how to take more trades. It's about helping you become the kind of trader who knows when not to trade, and that skill alone can change your entire financial future. The traders who win are not always the smartest. They're the ones who finally learn that sometimes the most profitable thing you can do is absolutely nothing.